Hi everyone, welcome to our business analysis workshop. I believe you can hear me now. If you can hear me, type yes in the chat box, guys. We've just started streaming, so people are just joining. We'll just give it a minute for everyone to join, guys, and we'll just start our workshop. Hello everyone, thank you for joining. We'll get started in just 2 minutes. If you can hear me and see me clearly, type CL in the chat box, guys, if you can see me and hear me clearly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that response. We'll just give 2 minutes for people to join in. Okay, so let me get started. So the main agenda for today's workshop would be how exactly you can plan and prepare to launch your career in business analysis, and how can you become a certified business analyst. That's going to be the main agenda for today's workshop. Okay. So, for people who are meeting me for the first time, my name is Sajana Binil. I'm the founder of Interactive Learning Solutions, and I'm the business analysis coach here. So, we have a community of business analysts, which is called the Business Analysis Hub. And the Business Analysis Hub is the fastest growing community of business analysts here in India. Okay. And I have been in the coaching industry from more than over a decade now, worked with several senior business analysts, coached several senior business analysts, and we have a community of 1,000 business analysts across the globe. Okay. And my last full-time role was that of an associate practice manager with emphasis software services. That was my last full-time role. Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to each one of you. So, we will first start off with the planning. And in order for you to plan and launch a successful career in business analyst, it is very essential for you to know and understand the job role, isn't it? Role clarity. Type RC in the chat box, role clarity. So, because I'm going to spend some time now to giving you role clarity about what a business analyst is expected to do, what are the tasks and the responsibilities executed by a business analyst on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so let's have um, um, quick understanding of what a BA does in the project. Number one responsibility, need assessment. Okay, for people who are a part of my YouTube channel, you must have already seen a couple of videos where I've been explaining the responsibilities of a BA in detail. Here I will further break it down to make it much more simpler for you to understand. So the first responsibility, need assessment. As a BA, you need to understand the business needs of your customer in order to articulate a solution that can solve that business need. Number two, requirements gathering. You should have the ability to gather requirements, understand your client's requirements, and analyze those requirements and further document them in various formats. Okay, so documentation formats might differ from project to project. If your project runs in a waterfall mode, you might be doing more of a BRD or an FRD. But if it's more of agile, then you'll be doing user stories. Okay, so understanding your client's requirements, analyzing those requirements in the terms of breaking the requirements into functional scenarios, drawing visual models, diagrams out of those requirements, and then converting those requirements into different documentation formats. And besides that, requirements prioritization, understanding which requirement will go out for delivery first, again a very prime responsibility of a business analyst. So many people, when they get into a business analyst role, they misunderstand, thinking that prioritization is a client's responsibility. No, BA works hand in hand with the client to decide what is the priority of the requirement, which one goes for delivery first and which one goes last. So knowledge of different prioritization techniques used in the industry, very very essential for a business analyst. Okay. Besides that, we have change impact analysis, which means understanding how a particular change is going to impact, what kind of impact it will have, and what are those functional modules that are going to get impacted by that change. That's change impact analysis. Then managing UAT, in terms of understanding what has been deployed in UAT, how to plan the UAT testing, and ensuring that the business users do not face any difficulty in UAT testing. Now, UAT is a very critical stage in a project. So, if your business users like what they are seeing in UAT, they will approve it, and if they do not like it, they will reject it. So, it's essential that a BA oversees UAT. Okay, and that's the reason UAT is very important, and managing their end-to-end UAT, BA's responsibility. And then we have end user training. Now, in some projects, the client also says that once you have delivered the application to us, you also need to educate or train our end users on how to use the application. So if your client has that expectation, then end user training obviously becomes a part of your responsibility as well. Okay, so I'm quickly going to show this slide where I spoke about all of these responsibilities. Yes. These are the responsibilities which I spoke about. Just to summarize, need assessment, stakeholder management, requirements gathering, requirements analysis, requirements documentation, prioritization, change impact analysis, UAT, and end user training. Take notes as I'm going through the presentation. Definitely take notes so that you do not miss any crucial points. So this is role clarity. I hope each one of you is clear about the responsibilities of a BA. Type yes in the chat box if you are very clear now. Now, before you think about getting into a business analyst role, before you think about getting into a business analyst role, it is very, very essential for you to understand the opportunities out there. Okay, some people are saying that screen is not visible. I had done a screen sharing right now for the responsibilities of a BA. Let me just check this once again. Yeah, I hope you can see now. You can see my screen right now. Yeah, this is the responsibilities of a BA. Keep this in mind. Give me a confirmation, guys, if everyone can see the screen. Because from here now, we will move on to understanding the job role, responsibilities, and what exactly are the opportunities out there. Okay. So when it comes to opportunities of a functional BA, you know, when it comes to opportunities, if you do a quick search on LinkedIn jobs for business analyst roles, you will find a whole bunch of opportunities being posted by different companies over there. Okay. Like, for example, let me just show you here. If you check in these job opportunities for business analyst, you'll see receive a result of say 4,000 odd results. That's the level of opportunities for business analysts that we have across the country, across India itself. Take a look at this, guys. See, absolute functional role here, functional business analyst roles. You'll find many such job descriptions of a functional role. Take a look at this. This is a very carefully crafted job description. Business analyst with digital experience management system exposure. If you look at the responsibilities that have been articulated over here, it's primarily the same responsibilities that I just told you about. Just that something that we had just discussed. So this is purely a functional business analyst role. Take a look at this, guys. So, for all the people who are transitioning from a non IT role, it is very essential that you look for a functional business analyst role rather than looking for a technical business analyst role. Of course, if you are coming from a technical role, makes sense in applying for a technical BA role, because then you will be able to leverage your programming experience and get into a technical BA role. Okay. But for people who are totally non techies like me, I would always suggest that you get into a functional role. And I showed you the JD of a functional business analyst and all the responsibilities that I have showed you in the first slide when it comes to need assessment, creating of solutions, requirements gathering, analysis, documentation, change impact analysis, UAT, everything has been outlined there. So this is how you need to recognize the JD of a functional BA. What happens is when you go out there and start looking out for jobs, you find a mix of business analyst roles. Now, business analyst JDs are created specific to the project that they are hiring you for. So, if a specific project requires a business analyst with a technical background, so you will see the JD has a technical flavor. They will ask for R programming, Python programming. So all the JDs that have a mention of technicalities like programmings or databases, then it means that they are planning to hire a technical BA for that particular project. So if you're a non-techie, what should you do? You should not apply for those positions. You should apply after reading the JD. If you feel that that job is purely functional in nature, that's when you need to go and apply. Okay, everyone clear so far? Type CL in the chat box. The reason, now the number one reason that you don't get responses to the different applications you send is because most of you, 80% of you, do not even read the JD. You just look at the title, business analyst, okay, click the apply button. When you do this kind of applications, when you send out these kind of applications randomly, clicking on any job, you don't get responses because your resume does not align with the responsibilities that they have articulated in the JD. So be very clear on that. Read the JD. And also remember, when you see job postings, you will not have job postings with the title as functional business analyst. That is also one of the reason it becomes very essential for you to read the JD. Unless and until you read the responsibilities, you will never ever realize whether it's functional or technical. Because all of these jobs have title as business analyst. That's it. I hope this is very, very clear. Now, what kind of companies are hiring business analysts? Let's take a look at that. Now, we know business analysts are hired a lot in IT services. So, all the TCS, Wipro, Cognizant, Accenture, Capgemini, they hire business analysts a lot because the IT, our role has predominantly grown from the IT field. That's the reason there's a whole bunch of opportunities there. Okay. But IT services is not the only sector that hires business analyst. Which are the other sectors, guys? Anyone knows? Type in the chat box if you know which sector hires business analysts besides IT. Come on. Who can tell me that? Anyone who knows which are the other sectors hiring business analysts? We have product companies like Google, Microsoft, SAP, IBM. They also hire business analysts who, because they want an analyst who can tell us what kind of features will be beneficial for the users of their product. That's what we do as analysts. We think about the different features, different requirements that can actually build a product, that can actually make a product usable and beneficial to the user. Yes, that's correct. Now the responses are coming, I see. So we have product companies, we have healthcare sector, we have automobile sector, yes, we have banking, insurance. So each of you must be already aware that every large bank, insurance company, healthcare organizations, retail organization, they have their own internal IT team, right? And these internal IT teams, what do? They hire, they are creating applications. They are creating applications for their internal use. And they also need analysts who can guide their technical team what kind of applications will help their organization get to the next level. Okay, so banks, insurance company, healthcare organizations, retail organizations, automobile, there is IT in every sector now. So all of these organizations hire a business analyst. And besides that, the big fours, which are the big fours companies that we are talking about: Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, EY. These are the big four companies that hire business analysts. Their business analysts work either on implementation projects or business process reengineering projects. Some senior level business analysts, they get into strategy consulting. So if your aim is to get into Deloitte or get into EY, get into the consulting wing, once you gain some experience, then business analysis lays the foundation for that. That's how you have to create your career goals, what keeping your end goal in mind. Okay, so many of you, when you start looking out for jobs as business analyst, you keep your search very narrow, guys. Don't do that. Don't keep your search very narrow. broaden, widen your search. So your search shouldn't be limited to IT services. It should include the product companies. It should include banks, insurance, healthcare, retail, automobile. You will see when you scroll through LinkedIn to see the different job postings, you will see a mixture of these industries that have posted business analyst position. And functional business analyst responsibilities does not change based on the sector. So you don't need to worry. Many of you have this concern that, okay, if a bank is hiring a BA, they might have different responsibilities over there. No, that doesn't happen. If they are hiring a business analyst for the IT team, this is exactly what that business analyst will do. Yes, I think now everyone's got a high level idea about the hiring, the role, and what kind of opportunities are there in this role. Let me now also tell you the career growth ladder. Okay, let me show you a image and explain you the growth ladder in this particular profession. Okay, and yes, remember the titles, the designations that I show on the screen might vary from organization to organization, because every organization has their own hierarchy, so that might differ. So just let me quickly bring up this slide. Take a look at this slide, guys. Take a look at this. Now, you might start off in a business analyst role as an associate BA or a junior BA or a functional analyst, and then move on to a senior associate kind of a level, then become a senior BA or a lead BA. If your company has a business analysis center of excellence, you become an associate practice lead over there, which is how I grew in my profession, in the business analysis profession. After associate practice lead, you become the practice manager of the business analysis center of excellence, and then the VP, senior VP positions, and eventually chief experience officer. Okay, our role predominantly, right from the beginning, our role involves understanding users experience. That's the reason it eventually evolves into a CXO or a chief experience officer kind of a role. Okay, now several companies do not have a business analysis center of excellence. Not to worry. If your company does not have a business analysis center of excellence, then once you become a lead BA or a senior BA, you have the option of growing along the delivery line. That means you might become the senior project manager, delivery manager, senior delivery manager. That's how you can take your growth forward. Okay, or you can also look at roles which require good client handling skills, like account management roles, client relationship managers. Certain strategic accounts in the IT world have specific account managers, customer relationship managers overseeing that account. So, on a senior level, all the roles which require good client handling skills and are client facing roles, that automatically open up to a business analyst. Okay, so this is a broad level career ladder that you will find in the IT services. Like I told you, this ladder changes based on the different sectors that you work in. So if you join a firm like Deloitte, the hierarchy totally differs. If you join a bank, the hierarchy again differs. But this is something that you need to keep in mind. You can, once you become a senior BA, you have multiple areas that you can explore, you can grow into. So several of my colleagues, once they became senior BA, they choose to get into product companies because they wanted to get into the product division and start leading the product division. So once they became senior BAs, they got into product companies, and there they grew as product owners, product managers, and eventually started heading a product division. Okay, So you can get into the product company, or you can get into business process reengineering, you can get into strategy consulting, you can get into cyber security, so many different streams. These are specialization areas in business analysis, guys. So, like I always say, IT services is not the only world for business analysis, but you can look at different options and decide, depend keeping your end goal in mind, decide which stream to take. Okay. Another plus point is business analysis being a mature profession, there are certifications aligned to every role a business analyst takes. In the first couple of roles, so that you can take your career trajectory to the next level. Okay, so when you start off in an organization as entry level BA, you are tied to the ECBA certification. Okay, that means as a beginner BA, a ECBA certification serves as a good door opener for you to get into the business analysis profession. Now, each of these certifications that I'm talking about, these are IIBA certifications. Most of you already know about it. So, IIBA is the parent body for business analysis. It's a non-profit organization based out of Canada, Toronto, Canada. And these are the different certifications that IIBA has brought into the business analysis profession to help business analysts propel their career to the next level much faster. So when you do a ECBA certification, that acts as a door opener for you, who a person who does not have any exposure to business analysis. It's a door opener because you come to know about how exactly to do business analysis, how to execute the business analysis task. The second level of certification, CCPA, equips you with the additional skills that are required to take on the next level role. Okay, and then we have the CBAP, which is advanced level business analysis certification, which prepares you for more of a strategy consulting kind of a role. Okay, I'm going to speak about each of these certifications a little more in detail in some time, but now, since we have the career ladder in front of us, just keep in mind, guys, the first three designations, the first three levels that you take up in an organization is guarded by specific certifications that can actually propel your that can actually speeden or fasten your journey to the next level. So we'll talk about that in detail. Let me quickly tell you a little about these certifications. Yes, sharing is becoming a little difficult for me. Yes. Now, each of these certifications, like I told you, these are IIBA certification. IIBA stands for International Institute of Business Analysis. ECBA certification, an entry level certification which anyone can apply for. Okay, it does not require any renewal, it does not include any application process. Anyone can go and apply for a entry level certificate. This ECBA certification has been created by IIBA to encourage more and more people to join the business analysis profession. So many of the people who are new to business analysis, they found it difficult to take higher level certifications of business analysis of IIBA. That's the reason IIBA launched this entry level certification that can act as a door opener for you, which gives you the authority to apply for business analyst position, even though your previous role not might not be that of a BA. Okay, so that's the first entry point. And then we have the CCBA certification. Remember that. CCBA certification is an intermediate level certification for people with 2 years of exposure to business analysis, and it has a renewal period of 3 years. Every 3 years, you need to renew it. CBAP, a very advanced level business analysis certification. Here, a candidate should have at least 5+ years of experience in business analysis. And again, the renewal here is after 3 years. So these are the three high level categories of certifications offered by IIBA. And these certifications not only help you advance your career, but also help you increase your earning potential. So, as per the survey that was conducted by IIBA, certified candidates earned 25% more than the non certified ones. Okay. And these are some of the statistics that come from IIBA, where people have experienced benefits of getting a proper guidance based on IIBA certifications. Okay. Now, let me also talk about, since we spoke about increase in the earning potential and growth in the salary, I will like to spend some time telling you about the salary of a BA. Now, remember, this is a very important slide that's coming to you. Now, you'll see a wide amount of variance in the salary a BA actually draws. Okay, there's a huge amount of variance. There's a difference between the salary packages offered by IT services, product companies, banks, insurance company. Every company has their own salary structure. So it's very difficult to come with a ballpark figure. But these are some factors that you need to keep in mind that will help you identify what kind of bracket you might possibly fall into. Okay. So, number one, educational qualifications. So, your last full time degree is taken into consideration when the HR finalizes your offer and decides what package to give you. Okay. As a business analyst, you can join the business analyst profession uh, even if you are a graduate, a science graduate, or a commerce graduate. There's no need for you to have a MCA or a BTech degree. All kinds of degrees are considered for this particular role. However, based on your last full time degree, you will see a slight amount of variance in the packages offered. Like if you, along with your graduation, you have done a MBA. If you're an MBA grad, you might be earning a higher salary than the graduate. So, educational qualifications definitely are considered. Previous experience. When I say previous experience, it does not mean business analysis experience. Well, if you are already a BA, then it's good, you have BA experience. But if you are new to business analysis, you will not have a BA experience, right? In that case, your previous experience that you bring to the table from, you might have spent 5 years in sales and marketing, or maybe 10 years as a banker. Whatever is that experience that you bring to the table, that experience is counted in a business analyst role. So your experience is not nullified. How many of you feel that's really cool? Type cool in the chat box, guys. Because most of you have this concern that what about my 10 years of experience in banking or 5 years of experience in sales? Will I lose that experience? Do I need to start at ground zero? Then the answer to that is no, you don't need to start at ground zero, because your previous experience is counted, and based on your previous experience you are put in a banded level in the organization that matches that experience, and based on that you are given a salary package. That's the second point. Third point, your knowledge of business analysis processes and techniques. Very, very important. What does that mean? Business analyst interviews, guys. Business analyst interviews are case scenario based interviews. interviews. Those interview questions are case scenario based questions, and the reason um, the interviewer asks case scenario based questions is in order to understand your level of knowledge of business analysis processes and techniques. Okay, so they put you in a scenario where you are working on a project and you are working as a business analyst, and this is what's happening in that particular project. As a BA, what kind of technique you will use, or as a BA, what kind of process you will use to control the chaos in the project, or whatever is that scenario. That's how they that's how BA interviews are. Most of you who are already giving interviews, you will understand that. Either they ask you to prepare a document or write some user stories, or they give you a case scenarios and say that, okay, how will you handle the situation? Hmm? So it is very important for the interviewer to gauge your level of knowledge in business analysis. Hmm? Because only then they know, as a business analyst, you will be able to survive in that particular project. So as a candidate, if you are able to demonstrate good knowledge of business analysis processes, then that itself proves as a game changer for you, because then the hiring manager gives a feedback to the HR who's creating your offer letter. And it has happened in several instances where our students had applied for a junior BA position, but because their interview was so good, they cleared 4 rounds of interview and they prepared such good documents and their responses were so good, they were directly absorbed in a senior BA position. Yes. So if you are able to demonstrate good knowledge of business analysis processes and techniques, you will be hired in a higher level role than the role that you have applied for. That's the reason they ask you case scenario questions to understand your level of your to understand the level of understanding that you have, to gauge that level of understanding. Okay. So that's point number 3. Your knowledge of business analysis processes helps you gain a better package than the other candidates who were interviewed for the same position. So I already told you about an example where several candidates were hired for the uh, were taken up for the higher level role than the role that they had applied for. That's point number 3. Point number 4, certifications. Certifications for the role are definitely a game changer, because, like I told you, if you have the required certification for the post that you're applying for, that certification itself gets you 20 to 25% more than if you are a non certified candidate. Okay, these are some of the parameters you can keep in mind and create a ballpark plan for you when you transition into a business analyst role. So let me reiterate, what are these parameters? Educational qualifications, number 1. Number 2, your experience, the previous experience that you bring to the table. Knowledge of business analysis processes, which you can gain through educating yourself. And number 4, certifications for the role. Yeah, that's correct, Vishal. Vishal says today he gave an interview and he was asked to write a user story, create an EFD. Yes, this is what they make. They give you tasks and make you do those tasks, rather than asking you theory. So in a business analyst interview, nobody asks you what is the requirement, what does a BA do, okay, what skills do you have. Nobody asks you that. They want to see if you are able to produce the output of a business analyst or not. Okay. So, on an average, let me also tell you before we move ahead, on an average, what is the salary that we find in the India geography? Okay, only in the India geography. So, if you, this is keeping in mind MNCs. So, if you start off in the role of a junior business analyst position, your salary might range anywhere between 10 to 15 lakhs per annum. Okay. If you apply for senior BA positions, it can be anywhere between 16 to 20 lakhs per annum. Now, if you apply for product ownership, by the way, product ownership is an offshoot of business analysis. So if you apply for a product ownership, it can be anywhere between 21 to 25 lakhs per annum. Okay. And like I already mentioned, if you are an experienced professional, there is no need for you to start off as a junior BA. Okay, you can directly apply for a senior BA position if you have 5 plus 6 plus years of experience. Okay, so that's the bracket that you should look for. Now this figures that I told you is the average salary range that you will find in MNCs. But I tell my students that you should not aim for what the average BA earns in the country, but you should aim for what the top 10% business analysts across the country earn. Hmm? Now, top 10% business analysts are those people who have very good understanding of business analysis processes, techniques. They have very good practice on the tools. They are very they're familiar with the tools that a BA uses, and they are able to demonstrate their skills accordingly in the interview. That's the top 10%. And many of our students who fall under the top 10% of people who were able to do that in the interview, they were directly, although they were new to business analysis, they brought in corporate experience with them. Some were from sales, some were for banking. So backed up with that corporate experience, they were directly able to get an offer of 22 lakhs per annum, a total game changer. Okay, so I told you the role the responsibilities of a BA, the career growth ladder. We also spoke about the salary. Okay, now when you move into a business analyst role, couple of mistakes, let me tell you, couple of mistakes people make, and I have also made those mistakes, but I want you to keep in mind that you should not make those mistakes. Okay, so let me familiarize you with some of the mistakes people often makes. Now, so I got into the business analyst role from a content writer's role. So absolute non-technical role. I got into a business analyst profession through an internal movement, and there was no training or induction given to us on the role. As a result, the first couple of years in a business analyst role, say about 1.5 to 2 years in a business analyst role, were an absolute struggle for me. Okay, so number one mistake, people get into this role without role clarity. Okay, so I did not have role clarity, and I moved into this role and I was struggling to complete the tasks that were given to me. So when you move into a business analyst role without proper training or induction, what are the different roadblocks or obstacles that you face? Number one roadblock that I faced was that I struggled completing the tasks that were allocated to me. Okay, let me show you this. I struggled completing the tasks that were allocated to me by my client or the project manager. Couldn't deliver things on time. My tasks were never completed on time because 70% of my time was consumed in reading articles in Google, because I didn't knew how to do a process flow diagram, how to do a DFD, how to write user stories. So I put in a lot of time in self learning, and that was consuming majority of my time in office, and my productivity was in all time low. So I could not complete my tasks on time. Always kept asking the client for more time because I had to read the material and then try to implement it in project. I did not use the standardized templates that are there for BRD, FRD, because I didn't have those templates. So I used to download templates from various websites and use it on the project. Many of the time, because of these templates, there were huge escalations from the client. Okay, so the escalations happened due to requirement gaps. See, there were serious requirement gaps in the project, requirement analysis issues, documentation issue. Certain requirements were not documented correctly. I was also not aware of the industry best practices, what techniques work on what kind of projects. and how we can, do requirement gathering in a proper structured way. I was not aware of those industry best practices. I struggled with tools. There was no tool training given to us. So struggled with the tools. I've never used requirement management tools. I never used these modeling tools before. I came from a content writing background, right? So I had absolutely no idea about how to use these tools, which were absolutely new to me. All of this problems, guys, all of these problems gave rise to absolute lack of confidence inside me. Okay. And day by day, that confidence became lower and lower, and I got started getting more and more stressed about losing my job, because there were serious escalations in the project. Every time an escalation happened, I used to worry about whether I'll be able to sustain this job or not. Okay, these are a couple of issues. A person who gets into a business analyst position without having proper knowledge of that experiences. So when I was doing business analysis without proper knowledge of business analysis, I used to spend 70% of my time Googling and reading articles. Those days we didn't have YouTube, so I didn't have any YouTube videos. But a lot of articles were there on the internet, a lot of books I read. But the difference between learning the actual implementation and reading this theoretical, reading a business analysis theory, is that all of the theory that is there in the books cannot be directly implemented in your project. Uh, so even now there is loads of information out there in the internet, but still many of you are so confused about what a business analyst does and how she does a process flow diagram, how she does an FRD, even though there are so many videos in YouTube about business analysis. Why is that? Because what is out there in the internet is conceptual knowledge. Focused implementation of that knowledge is missing. How many of you would agree with that? Type agree in the chat box. Focused implementation of that knowledge is still missing. And most of the interviews focus on this implementation knowledge, how much of implementation knowledge you have. And that's the reason they make you do these tasks. So in my situation, I was absolutely stressed about losing my job. And eventually it so happened that I was pushed into a performance improvement plan. I had to I was put in a PIP because I was not able to do justice for the role that I was hired for. However, this PIP proved as a blessing in disguise for me, because during this PIP I was put under the mentorship of a senior leader who familiarized me with the best practices that are followed in the industry, and how exactly as a BA, if you implement that best practice, then 100% you get a success rate. Okay. So those best practices, guys, came from this particular book. So the first time I saw this book, I was not aware of what it actually contains. It is called The Business Analyst Body of Knowledge. It's published by IIBA. How many of you are familiar with this book? Type me in the chat box. Because the best practices that my mentor coached me on came out straight out of this book. She gave me a copy of this book, and on a day-to-day basis, we used to catch up on how we are going in terms of the training and the education that's uh, I'm imparting to myself. So on a daily basis, my deliverables used to be reviewed by the mentor, and gaps were identified, and we used to uh, sit together to discuss how we can bring about improvements in the project. uh, as I dig deeper into understanding business analysis, guys, I understood there are structured ways of doing requirements gathering so that there are no gaps in your requirements. There is a proper structured way of doing analysis of your requirements. If you follow that end to end, if you follow that process end to end, then your analysis doesn't fail. There are no gaps in your analysis. There are, if you follow specific standardized documentation templates for BRD, FRD, then that's the watertight documentation that you can give to your customer. So standardized templates of BRD, FRD, they give you a proper guidance as to how you can tie down the scope of the project, how you can write very detailed requirements so that your client can never go back on what he said. So when I was familiarized with all of these best practices that have to be followed in every stage of the requirement life cycle, I was I was totally blown away. I had no clue that such well-defined processes, well-defined techniques exist. Till that day, I was doing business analysis in a totally haphazard way, and I realized that's the reason I was failing so miserably. However, I was determined to turn things around. Okay. Although I was in a very critical stage in my career, I decided to give this PIP a best shot and do whatever it takes to turn things around. Along with the help of my mentor who guided me, I completed the first level of certification, along with completing the project deliverables. And luckily, for in my case, the client saw a very good improvement in the work that was being delivered. So in 2 months of time frame, we were able to fix about 98 production defects. Many of those defects purely were due to requirements that had gone miss. See, guys, one thing that we have to understand is requirements is the heart of a project, heart of any IT project. Okay, and we as business analysts, we have the steering wheel is in our hands. Okay, so the project will go in the direction that we turn the steering wheel. So if we do a lousy job in gathering requirements, analyzing, documenting requirements, the project will start bleeding. The project will not see a success. And that's the reason companies scrutinize you so much before they hire you as a business analyst, because they know that if the business analyst goes wrong, every damn thing in the project goes wrong. They know that. Hmm? Because your technical team will develop the application based on the instructions you give them. They are not going to ask you in what way this feature is going to help the business users. No, that's not their headache. As a business analyst, you have to think about it. Okay, so the instructions that you give to your technical team, the technical team will work on those instructions and develop exactly the product based on what you have given instructions. Now, if your instructions have gone haywire, then your customer will naturally not be happy seeing the end product, isn't it? How many of you agrees with that? That if you give wrong instructions to your technical team, they will end up building the wrong product. And then the wrong product goes to the customer, and the customer is naturally all mad about it. That's exactly what was happening in my project, guys. I was giving wrong instructions to my technical team because there was a serious gap between me and the client in understanding the requirements and documenting the requirements. And the project was in a very chaotic phase. When I understood the structured way of doing business analysis, I started implementing in the project, and the clients started seeing results. He started seeing better quality documentation. He started seeing better quality of analysis. He started seeing that I put different checkpoints in the project where I felt that things are going wrong. I put some checkpoints, some best practices to ensure that there are no mistakes in that particular phase. And by God's grace, the client was very appreciative of the work that we did in the 2 months, and he gave us the next phase of the project. Because he gave us the next phase of the project, I was brought out of the PIP, and my manager asked me, my mentor manager asked me to continue with the project as long as I want. You know, so it is all due to this. Properly educating myself on the best practices and the norms, the terminologies that are used in the business analysis world, that proved to be a game changer for me. And as we go ahead in this session, I'll tell you more about the different steps that have been outlined in the book, and how you can improve your requirements in your project. Yes, correct. Many of you resonate with the fact, yeah, your development team blindly follows the BRD or FRD that you give. There are For them there are no ifs and buts. If you have missed something, they will miss it in the final product. So that's the reason it is very, very essential for us to do a good job as a business analyst. Otherwise, the entire product fails, the entire project fails. Now, for every person who's very new to this particular profession, it's one predominant question that you have in mind is, do I have the skills? Right? I gave you role clarity, you know the responsibilities now, but one question might be always bothering you: do I really have the skills? What it takes to become a business analyst? Uh, what are those additional skills that are required? So I'm in some time I'm going to show you the essential skills, and I'll show you also a table which I have created, which will give you idea about the transferable skills that you bring to this job. Okay, take a look at this, guys. Very important slide. Now, the skills, essential skills of a business analyst include communication skills, very much essential in our role because stakeholder management is a key responsibilities that we have. Problem solving and analytical skills, knowledge of business analysis techniques, knowledge of requirement lifecycle management, business analyst tools like Jira, Visio, MS Office, Confluence, very, very essential. Hmm? So for people who are just transitioning into this role, I understand that you might be having skill number 1 and 2, but 3, 4, and 5 is something that you might not be having, because these are skills that are not found in other roles. Okay, so skill number 1 and 2 will be your transferable skills. However, the 3, 4, and 5 are acquired skills, guys. The good news is these are acquired skills. These are learnable skills. These are skills that you can learn and get into this role. I will show you a table that I've created based on different roles that you are coming from. Okay, and that will give you more. Take a look at this table, guys. Now, this table, the first column is for sales and marketing people or business development. So, if you're coming from a sales, marketing, or business development kind of a background, these are a couple of skills you might be already having. Needless to say, sales and marketing people are excellent communicators. So, communication skills is very good. Problem solving and analytical thinking is good. You have very good knowledge of industry that you're serving. So, you might be a sales guy who's selling healthcare products, but you have good knowledge about what healthcare products exist in the market, how is the competition like, and what are the customers needs and everything. So that's the industry knowledge that you bring to the table. And client handling skills, negotiation skills, and facilitation skills, something very much found in sales and marketing people. These are a broad level of transferable skills for sales and marketing people. Take a look at bankers and support people. People from the banking background, they bring in good industry knowledge. They are SMEs, so they have good domain knowledge. They have good problem solving and analytical thinking. Communication skills based on whether you are front ending customers or uh, whether you are into back end operations, it might be average to good communication skills and client handling skills. but you definitely have those skills, so they are transferable. So take a look at this table, and I want you to create a similar kind of list for the role that you are performing in the organization. Okay, whatever is your role, I want you to think. Step one, think about the different activities or different tasks that you complete in a day. Okay, create the list of tasks. For each of those tasks, what are the skills that you use? That's step number two. So, step number one, create a list of tasks that you do complete in a day. Step number two, for each of the tasks, outline what skills you utilize to complete those tasks. This is how you'll be able to identify your transferable skills. Create a list and post it in the chat window, guys. You can also write skills like creative thinking, reporting skills, leadership skills, people management skills. These are also skills that are transferable in a BA role. Create a list and post it in the chat window, and you will be very, very confident going forward when you think about transitioning into a business analyst role. This list itself will give you that confidence that yes, you have the preliminary skills. All you need to do is go and acquire the skills required to understand the requirement life cycle and business analysis techniques and tools. Okay, so create a list, guys, and post it in the chat window. I will check that list that you have created and tell you whether it's correct or wrong. Do we have any BAs participating, guys? Type BA in the chat box if you are already a BA. We will also talk about, so when we when you after you create a list of transferable skills, after you create a list of transferable skills, the next level job for you is it's very easy to understand where the gap lies, right? Once you have created a list of transferable skills, you can very easily say where the gap lies. So even though you are a business analyst, there might be certain gap areas with respect to understanding business analysis processes. Okay. So for people who are new to business analysis, this is a slide for people who are very, very new. For people who are new to business analysis, the gap predominantly is in understanding business analysis processes, requirements lifecycle, and BA tools and techniques. This is where the broad level gap lies. For people who are already business analysts, there might be a specific area that you are struggling with. It might be requirements gathering, or it might be analysis. You might not be aware of UML modeling and visual formats, or maybe specific tools. Hmm? You can you can write that down as a gap area for people who are existing BAs. For the freshers who are new to business analysis, this definitely is one of the gap area, three gap areas which you should try to fulfill. And the next slide, next slide tells you how certifications help. How certifications help. Certifications help you fast track your transition into business analyst role. How it helps fast track? Let me tell you that. When you have an IIBA certification, that means when you have a certification from the global authority, it acts as a door opener for you in this profession. Many of you here, although you want to apply for a business analyst role, you might be thinking, what if the interviewer asks me, why are you applying for a business analyst role? In your previous role, you are a banker or you are a sales guy. Why are you applying for this role? How many of you have this question in mind? That what if the interviewer asks me, why are you applying for this role? Type me in the chat box if you have that question. So when you are new to business analysis and your resume says that you are from sales and marketing, or you are from support, technical support or voice support, a quite obvious question that will come in the interviewer's mind is, why is this guy applying for a business analyst position? He's not does not even having have any experience in this role. So, when you have a certification, that certification acts as a door opener, because these certifications are created to encourage more people coming from different professions, encourage them to join the business analysis profession. So, in that case, your response to that particular question can be articulated in such a way that I am an IIBA certified business analyst, and this I've completed this certification as part of my transition into a BS role. Okay, and these certifications are made for transition. These certifications are made to educate people who are new to business analysis, to help them get into this particular program. So it fast tracks your transition. That's the reason I said you are considered for a BA role irrespective of your previous role. So, the example that I gave you, you might be coming from sales and marketing, banking, or any kind of a role, but you are considered because you have completed the certification that's required for you to. That certification gives you an authority to apply for that role. Now, in terms of salary hikes, guys, if you are moving from non-IT to IT for the first time, if you're coming, some of our students have got 50 to 60% hike in their salary. Hmm? I will show you a couple of instances where students themselves will tell you that they got a 50% hike on their current fixed income. More job opportunities in a wide variety of industries. What does that mean? Some companies predominantly hire only certified IIBA certified business analyst. So if you are a certified candidate, you can apply for more sectors, more industries. It enables you to clear interviews faster, like I already told you. Take a look at this, guys. Because business analysis processes are so clearly defined in BA book, that book which I showed you. That's the reason that when you study that book, when you prepare for that certification, it gives you the industry terminologies and best practices, and that helps you solve those case scenario questions. And you are able to demonstrate better confidence in interviews. Obviously, when you have answers to the questions that are being asked, you have better confidence. Knowledge of exactly what to do in your first day as a business analyst, that's the knowledge that you get, which is clearly defined in that particular book. As a BA, what are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind when you are planning a business analysis approach? So it starts directly from the planning phase and then moves to the requirement and the analysis phase. So knowledge of exactly what to do, and it improves the quality. Yeah, very very important. Improves the quality of business analysis work that you deliver in the project. For people who are very new to, never heard of about IIBA, this is their website URL. You can go and check their website. That's the You have to look at IIBA as a university with multiple certifications. It's a certifying body. Okay, certifying body, and it's a global certifying body. Now, couple of fears of transition. How many of you are transitioning from sales kind of roles or banking roles? Type me in the chat box if you are a sales guy or a banker. As we go on to discuss the preparation, we'll get into details about the eligibility criteria for each and every IIBA certification. Okay, so now let's talk about. We have some salespeople here, so let's talk about a couple of fears that people from non-technical background they have when they move into a business analyst role. Number one fear: I don't have programming knowledge. Okay, so let me tell you, when you move into the role of a functional BA, you don't need programming knowledge. Because a functional business analyst, I already showed you the JD of a functional business analyst. End to end, if you know how to manage requirements in the project, then you will be able to do justice to that particular role. So understand the best practices that have to be followed in the industry, and it's a pure functional role, wherein you have to understand the client's requirements and translate those requirements into various visual models and documentation formats and communicate it to your technical team. This is something any non-technical person can pick up. So do not worry if you do not have programming knowledge. Business analyst roles are of two types: functional BA, technical BA. If you're a non-techie, do not apply for technical BA position, apply for functional BA positions. So all the job descriptions where you're seeing a mention of R programming, Python programming, those are technical BA positions. Okay, so you will not be eligible for those positions. Will I lose second fear people have in mind is, will I lose my previous experience if I get into a BA role? No, the answer to that question is no. You will not lose your previous experience. Your previous experience will be utilized in a BA's role. That's the beauty of this profession. So based on your experience, you will be placed in a level and band in the organization that is mapping to the experience. And so people who have 5+ years of experience, they can directly start off as senior BAs. I don't have good communication skills. Anyone has challenges with com skills, guys? Anyone has challenges with com skills? So let me tell you this. Now, communication skills is very, very important in a business analyst role. But you can start off in this role if you're an average communicator. You don't need to be an excellent communicator to big start as a business analyst. Average level of communication, you can definitely start off in a business analyst role. Business analysis and business analytics. The last point, very important point. This is often confused. Let me write it in the chat window. Business analysis versus business analytics. These are two different streams. Do not confuse. Everyone confuses between business analytics and business analysis. Business analytics is all about understanding the data patterns and drawing visualization dashboards. So that's a slightly technical role. Okay. Business analysis, on the other hand, is all about understanding the client's requirements and ensuring that the product matches the expectations of the client. Pure functional role. So do not confuse this. So all the job descriptions where you're seeing a mention of Power BI, Tableau, those are analytics positions, guys. Business analytics. Do not confuse. Now, besides these fears, there are some other fears also. Students tell me. Hmm? Some of them. There was one student in my workshop who said that she's in a hectic sales job and she's working for 12 to 13 hours in a day. So from the past 2 years, she's trying to transition into a BA role, but she does not have the time. She does not have the time to learn and acquire the necessary skills and get into this role. So people say they don't have the time, they don't have the money, they don't have the resources, they didn't find the right mentor, right guide, and that's the reason they were not able to make a transition. So remember, guys, when we talk about time, money, skills, not able to find the right mentor, not able, these are all resource issues. Resources are never an issue if you are resourceful, isn't it? Resources are never an issue if you are resourceful. So each one of you here in this workshop also has tremendous potential to make it as a business analyst. You have the capability to work towards your dreams. It just takes a moment to decide and start. Just sit back and think about a time where you were absolutely determined to make things happen and you did everything possible to work towards your goal. You were in a resourceful state at that time. So it might be losing weight, or it might be enrolling for a competition or a new course, but you were absolutely determined that I want to do it, and you ensure that the resources come into place, and you made it happen. So resources are never a problem if you are a resourceful person. So let me show you some of our students who have been resourceful and they have changed the game for themselves. They have taken their career to the next level. You'll see many of them have had a long-standing career gap, and they still they were determined. Their hard work and determination was to that extent that they could change the trajectory of their career. Okay, so let me quickly take you through a couple of students and how, and after that we will move to the preparation phase where we will tell you more about these IIBA certifications. Just give me a moment, guys. Just give me a moment. Let me bring up this case study.
Program, it helped me to get certified. But to be honest, I could see the improvement in the quality of work that I was giving out. I was delivering to my team. I've already appreciated it so many times, and the way you used to share your own experiences. Sometimes I also face those experiences, but I know how to deal with them because I heard you on the classes.
So in my previous role, I was a technical writer. And when I decided that I wanted to get into a different role where I can do a bit more logical thinking, I can see that it's starting to help me understand the why and what are the benefits of actually having these processes there.
The moment I joined the class, I understood this is going to be very nice, and I love the class itself. So it gave me a lot of knowledge, it gave me a lot of skills, a lot of techniques to do what I was doing currently better.
Actually, career growth is the main reason which I wanted to have a switch to it. Personally, it actually helped me is believing in myself. I could see a progressive transition in myself actually. I got around 50% of hike on my fixed income.
Very
Actually.
nice.
So after a long gap of around 15 years, maybe you can say, I've come back and I thought right now in Canada, the boom of IT and all the other fields is definitely into it. So I wanted to try my hand back into IT, but I'm not a person of coding. So commendable the way you're teaching, your kind of approach and your communication was so clear and crisp. It was very simple to understand. So I said, I want to go into this.
You can't see my screen? Okay, I'm so sorry about it. I thought you can see. Can you see my screen now? Type yes in the chat box, guys, if you can see my screen right now. The video. Thank you so much. Thank you for that confirmation, guys.
The program, it helped me to get certified. But to be honest, I could see the improvement in the quality of work that I was giving out. I was delivering to my team. I've already appreciated it so many times, and the way you used to share your own experiences. Sometimes I also face those experiences, but I know how to deal with them because I heard you on the classes.
So in my previous role, I was a technical writer. And when I decided that I wanted to get into a different role where I can do a bit more logical thinking, I can see that it's starting to help me understand the why and what are the benefits of actually having these processes there.
The moment I joined the class, I understood this is going to be very nice, and I would love the class itself. So it gave me a lot of knowledge, it gave me a lot of skills, a lot of techniques to do what I was doing currently better.
Actually, career growth is the main reason which I wanted to have a switch to it. Personally, it actually helped me is believing in myself. I could see a progressive transition in myself actually. I got around 50% of hike on my fixed income.
Very nice.
So after a long gap of around 15 years, maybe you can say, I've come back and I thought right now in Canada, the boom of IT and all the other fields is definitely into it. So I wanted to try my hand back into IT, but I'm not a person of coding. So commendable the way you're teaching, your kind of approach and your communication was so clear and crisp. It was very simple to understand. So I said, I want to go into this kind of.
So those were some of our students, guys. These students, you'll see each one of them. We started with Ria, who's a sales. There were some people from sales here. Ria was a salesperson and she wanted to move into a business analyst role. After she took up this certification, learned the best practices, she learned how to work in a project as a business analyst. 6 months after her training, and 6 months after she got deployed as a business analyst in her company, she won an award for exemplary performance as a business analyst. Yes, that's the value that these certifications bring to the table. You saw Sirisha. Sirisha today is working as a senior BA in Deloitte Consulting, and Ria is working in Blinking as a business analyst. All of them coming from to so many different backgrounds, from sales background, from testing, from development backgrounds, from writer kind of backgrounds, or teacher. Anju, uh, who has a career gap of 15 years. People with career gap of 15 years, they have been able to change the game. They have been able to change the trajectory of their career, and they are now immensely successful as business analysts, guys. So hard work and determination are the two vital components that are involved in this transition. If you are ready to put the hard work and if you are determined to make it happen, you will definitely transition into a business analyst role. So as a coach, I tell my students that I can give you the knowledge, I can give you the skills that are required, but the hard work and determination should come from your side. And each one of them have put in that hard work, and that's the reason they are today working in different companies as business analysts. So let's quickly go into the preparation mode, where we talk about these certifications more in detail. How to prepare yourself for this career move. When it comes to preparation, guys, your step one is naturally to get a certification. A certification from a authority helps you prove your credentials, helps you prove your worth, and gives you the confidence that's required to take up this role. Because like I said, seriously, when I was struggling in a business analyst role, it was this certification that gave me the confidence to reboot my career. Okay. So when it comes to certifications, there are different types of certifications that I told you, but each one of you will not be eligible for all of that. The first one, ECBA, is open for everyone, for absolute beginners in this particular profession. The next levels of certifications are CCBA and CBAP for people who have 2 years and 5 years of experience. You need experience for this. There is an eligibility criteria kept by IIBA for taking these certifications. Remember that. So I think some of you are here experienced professionals. If you have the experience that's required for that certification, you can definitely go for it. Ankit says that he has 2.5 years of IT business analyst experience. You can go for the CCBA certification, Ankit. CCBA certification is a good choice for you. I'll take you step by step through how these certifications have been modeled, and whether you will be able to crack these certifications and what's the level of work that's involved. Okay. So when you join an ECBA certification program, join it with an IIBA endorsed training provider. You have to complete 24 hours of training. Your next step is to study and practice using mock tests, roughly for 10 to 15 days. Practice using mock tests. Schedule your exam with IIB and get certified. Okay, that's what you need to do. Enroll for a training program. Start studying along with the training program. Practice using mock tests and schedule your exam and get certified. Simple 3-step procedure. So step one, certification is very clear. Step two, what we do is additionally, because at the initial stage of my business analysis career, I faced so much of turbulence. For my students, I've created a structure, a framework, which if they follow, they will be able to complete their tasks as a business analyst very fast and very smoothly. So I'm going to tell you that it's called the zero tech framework that we follow for people coming from non-IT. Now, the zero tech framework, we use several standardized templates which act as a starting point for you. Okay. So we have a template for every different task that a BA does, and you'll be given that entire box of templates. When you are a part of our program, you are given those templates. Problem assessment template or need assessment template. This template consists of around 45 need assessment questions for different areas of assessment: operations area assessment, finance area assessment, sales area assessment, operations assessment, etc., etc. RET template, which is a requirements elicitation template. Here in the classes, I coach students on the BUS formula, business oriented questions, user action questions, system response questions, and how exactly to articulate these questions. Together today, if the time permits, we will try to solve a case study that will give you more ideas about how these requirement gathering questions have to be formulated. So we coach students on how to formulate questions. One of the predominant problems that business analysts face while when they start off their journey is they don't know what are the right questions to ask the client. How many of you are facing this particular problem? You might be already a business analyst, but you're struggling. Every meeting you're struggling whether this is the right question to ask the client or not. And people who are migrating from non-IT, they had absolutely no clue what has to be asked and what can be asked and what cannot be asked. So that's the reason these requirements elicitation templates equip you with the knowledge on how exactly these requirement gathering questions can be created using simple formulas. And then we have templates like the one that you see here on the screen, FRD templates, user story templates. These templates are used by our student in practical labs to create requirements in a specific format. So these are standardized templates where some inbuilt requirements, sample requirements are injected. Instructions are given in every section as to what has to be added and how it has to be added. Plus, sample requirements are given. So you don't have to. Many people, many beginner BAs worry about how to articulate, how to write a proper requirement statement. You don't need to worry about it. There are some ready to use requirements. All you have to do is fill in the blanks. You change those requirements with in the per se of the user that's using your system, as well as the data that is being captured. Okay, if you just change a few elements in those requirement statements, your requirements are ready to use. That's how these templates are. It's created to make life very easy for a beginner BA. So similarly, we have user story templates if you are an agile project, which tell you how what is the proper format of a user story, and how you can write a fully qualified user story. So our zero check framework, guys, works on these templates. Predominantly works on these templates, which give students a good starting point when they get deployed in a project. So the certifications serve as a door entry for you. That's step one for you. They serve as a door entry where you get shortlisted, you get interviewed, and you are able to clear the interview and get onto the job. And when you get onto the job, what comes to your rescue is these templates where we coach you on how exactly these templates can be used, and proper qualified requirements can be created using these templates. Also, there is an element of AI in our zero tech framework. Yes, there is an element of AI in our zero tech framework which further streamlines your tasks as a business analyst, which means there are several mundane documentation tasks that we as business analysts used to do on a daily basis. Now, using AI tools, that the time taken or time consumed to complete those tasks is reduced to 70%. 70% reduction in the time consumed to create these complete those tasks. And what are those tasks? Let me also show you those tasks. Those tasks can be preparing for a business need assessment. You can do that using AI tools now. You can identify your stakeholder, conduct a stakeholder analysis, and then prepare your requirement gathering questions, capture meeting notes, analyze requirements, and also document requirements using AI now. All of this documentation, which previously was possible only the manual way, now you can do it using AI scripts. Yes. So our zero tech framework coaches you on all of these aspects, where you learn using templates that can be used in your project, delivered to the client in a proper presentable format. To send content to your client in a proper presentable format, you have standardized templates that's a part of the zero tech framework. And also you have the help of AI that can improve, reduce the time taken for you to complete your business analysis tasks. So remember, guys, step one for you is to complete your certification. Step one is practice this zero tech framework. Yes. Now, very quickly, I'm going to solve a requirement gathering case study. I'll show you a format of the case studies that we solve in our practical labs. We have practical labs every Friday, 8 p.m., where we teach students these case studies. We give them a case study and we make them work on those case studies, explain the concept to them, and then leave that case study, give them 15 to 20 minutes to solve it, and then we discuss the correct answers. So these case studies help them better prepare for interviews, and also it gives them the confidence to apply for business analyst jobs. Hmm? So take a look at this. This is a recent case study that we have created. If you can see this. Yeah. This is a case study of developing an internet banking portal for a bank. This bank aims to provide a comprehensive net banking portal to its customer. So our goal is to provide a seamless, secure, and user-friendly banking experience. As part of the development team, you are supposed to gather requirements for this net banking portal. Okay. And in order to tie down the scope, in order to reduce the scope, we are, for this particular case study, we are focusing only on two screens: apply for loans and account summary screen. Okay. Otherwise the net banking portal is very vast, right? For us to be very focused on two requirements, two types of features, we have brought down the scope to apply for loans and account summary. And then the stakeholder list is given, guys. Peter, who's a loan officer; Jure, who's a product owner; Nick is a sponsor; and Harry, banking officer. Okay, the list of stakeholders are given. What you need to do as a business analyst is understand the key features and functionalities required for each screen, develop a set of requirement gathering questions to ensure all necessary information is captured. Okay, these are a couple of things that students perform in our practical labs. And then we have given the rules of how to create requirement gathering questions. Try to use the 5W formula, keep the questions short and crisp. And then you can see this entire table that has been created. This serves as a guidance for students, guys. Yes, this serves as a guidance where students now know, for that particular feature, what are the different aspects they need to think about. Okay. And then the entire concept, we discuss the entire concept of requirement gathering, and how they have to create questions from the per se of these different factors. Considering these factors: information display, user interaction, error handling, notifications, performance and usability, security features. So I've given some pointers to the students. Based on those pointers, they are coached, and students then go ahead to prepare requirement gathering questions. When it comes to requirement gathering questions, very, very important for us to understand the steps, guys. When BAs get into a requirement gathering meeting, most of them, I've seen 80% of them go very unprepared for the meeting. That's where your requirement gathering meeting falls apart. Okay, so understanding the step by step process by which you need to prepare yourself uh, before a requirement gathering meeting is very important. That is detailed out, that's detailed out in the elicitation chapter of BA BOC. Understand those processes, and then these case studies, these kind of case studies are given in interviews also, guys. And when you solve these case studies again and again, you get enough practice about how exactly you will work as a business analyst in a project, how you will do requirement gathering as a business analyst. So, for all of you who want to start your career in business analysis, what is the next step? The next step for you is to get yourself certified and learn the AI way of doing business analysis in a project, which is a zero tech framework that we talk about. Once you learn that, things become much more easier for you. The transition becomes much more easier, and you are able to get that confidence that's required for you to get into this role. Okay. So, for all of you who want to transition into a business analyst role, we have created the ECBA Mastermind program for you. Our company, Interactive Learning Solutions, is an endorsed training partner with IIBA, and we are the certified training providers for IIBA certification. Depending upon the level of experience that you have, you can choose the certification that you would like to take. And if any one of you would like our assistance to in choosing which certification, we also do that. So if you are confused which one to take, do not worry. We will have course counselors who can tell you which is the right certification that you can take. But IBA certifications prove as a game changer, guys. They prove as a game changer in your career. So let me tell you a little about this ECBA mastermind that we have, which is for people who are beginning their journey in business analysis. Okay. So ECBA Mastermind program is our gold membership program. Okay. So when you get into the ECBA program, you are becoming a gold member with us, a gold member in our community. Who can attend this training? This training can be attended by absolutely anyone because it's a beginner level program. Sales and marketing people, support people, bankers, insurance, healthcare, human resource, recruiters, software developers or testers, or even existing BAs who have never taken any training, they can also join this program. And these are some of the benefits that you get out of the certification, which I've already told you. You get a better salary negotiation power. You will be considered for a BA role irrespective of your last role. And you'll be able to understand how you can use AI tools to complete your business analysis tasks. Okay, and you can apply for multiple various types of job opportunities. Take a look at the roadmap, guys. This is going to be your journey with us. Very, very important. Step one: attend the ECBA class with us. You can choose a weekend class or a weekday class. So ECBA classes usually there are 12 sessions, 2 hours each. So depending upon which batch suits you, you can select that. That's step one. Step two: come to our practical labs every Friday at 8 p.m., where I teach you these case studies for the interviews. I coach you on these case studies so that you are able to better respond to interview questions. Okay. Once you have completed step 1 and step 2, you become an ECBA trained business analyst. Okay, your step 3 obviously is to reformat your resume and start searching for jobs. While you're searching for jobs, keep preparing for the exam. You have to study for the exam, right? And once you schedule the exam and clear it, you get the final certification from IIBA that you are an IIBA certified business analyst now. So this is your journey with us. Just 3 steps. Step 1, attend ECBA class. Step 2, attend practical labs. Start searching for jobs. Parallelly, continue studying for the exam. Give the exam and you get the final certificate. And by that time, you are able to hook a job also. These are the different kind of roles you can apply for. Different types of roles you can apply for. AI business analyst, the normal business analyst position, senior BA. If you have experience, you can go for senior BA. Functional analyst, process consultant, BI analyst, cybersecurity analyst. You will be given a pack of these templates, guys, which contains all the templates that are used in our community by our students. User story templates, BRD, FRD, test cases, test plans, all of these templates, so that you don't have to go to the internet and download and hunt for templates like I used to do with the hunting. I don't want any of my students to download non-standardized templates. You will be given practice quizzes, 500 practice quizzes to prepare for the exam. Okay, you will be given access to an exam simulator where all these exam style questions are uploaded. So you have to study only the things that are going to come for the exam. So don't, Bebok is a big book, guys. It's a large book. You don't need to study the entire Bebok for the exam. Don't worry. These are different bonuses that you will have access to. IT blueprint, requirements, entire requirements life cycle. Different boxes each contain videos that have been created by me with assignments. These are course boxes which give you more education and more knowledge about how business analysis has to be done in the project. Now, these course bundles have a value of 35,999. When you join our ECBA Mastermind program, they come absolutely free. Yes, guys, those come absolutely free when you join our Mastermind program. So you have lifelong access to all of these uh, IT blueprint bonuses, the course bundles, the requirement lifecycle course bundle. So we are filling in all the gaps that we have identified for people transitioning into a business analyst role. And then comes the big one. We have the tools training. So you will be trained on tools like SQL, Confluence, Visio, Jira, Gitmind. That's also a part of this certification program. And practical labs that happen every Friday. So every Friday, I just showed you a sample of practical labs where we solve these case study questions in terms of the banking scenarios, retail scenarios, sometimes travel and logistics. These are skill-based training, guys, where we make you work on specific assignments, process model diagram, use case diagrams. Sometimes it's user stories. We give you case studies and you solve those case studies, and in the practical labs you get more confidence when you are doing the presentation for all of these things. These practical labs are worth 19,000 as part of this program. As part of the ECBA mastermind, it comes absolutely free for you. And then you have the gold membership support. So as part of this program, you will be a part of a business analysis community where we give you post training support, where you have post training support. That is, when you start working on projects, you get training, you get support from other members of the community. Then job assistance in terms of interview preparation, I already told you, right? Every classes we are discussing case studies. Our classes are full of case studies, so that you know what kind of industry case studies are actually asked in interviews. So that's the case study interview preparation. And then you have resume restructuring. Resume templates are given to you, and your resume is articulated in a proper way. So this is in a nutshell what I told you. Gold membership, 2 months of coaching, unlimited or practical session, courses that you have lifelong access to, and group community support, and you become an IIBA certified business analyst. And this is a final certificate of completion that you get from our side. Final certificate of completion. This is our September batch, guys. The timetable that you're seeing here, this is our September batch, which is going to start now. Just give me a moment, guys. So we have weekend batches as well as weekday batches. Weekend and weekday batches. Weekend batches start at 7 a.m. and weekday batches, there are evening options as well. So weekend we have 7 a.m. to and 11 a.m. slots, and weekdays we have only 7 a.m. Option. Okay. The curriculum for the course is the ECBA curriculum, which is created by IIBA. This is the same curriculum that's been included in the final semester of several B school programs, like the postgraduate program that's run by BIMTech. Many of the B schools have included this curriculum in their final semesters in order to make their students job ready. Okay. Okay. Yes, some of you are asking about the fees. Now, the fees for the ECBA Mastermind program, it has a value of 85,999. That's the value of the program. For all the YouTube viewers, you don't have to pay 85,999. You get this program on a special offer of 16,999, all inclusive. Yes. And this includes all the fees that I just mentioned about. You get the ECBA training, the practical labs, the course materials, BA box soft copy, and all the course bundles that I just showed you, and the recorded courses. As next steps, what you need to do is book your seat in 4,999 right now. You get all access to course materials tomorrow morning, and balance of 12,000 you can pay in the next 7 days. That's how we do, so the total fees is 16,999. You can book your seat in 4,999 right now. So I will release a link in the chat window, which is the same link that you're seeing over here. You can, once you book the seat, we will send out an email and confirm with you, and you'll get access to your course materials right tomorrow morning. Even if you are confused about which level of certification to take, we will guide you once you get on board. So this is the link in the chat window, guys. This is our WhatsApp number as well as our email address. You will be given an option to select whichever batch you would like to take. Okay, weekend batch, weekday, we have both the options. I can show you the schedule once again. How does the schedule look? You can also opt for an October batch. This is the schedule for the ECBA batch. You have to pick up one batch from here, and also come to our Friday practical labs once a week, 8 p.m. Friday. We make you do practice for the interviews. For your interview clearance, that lecture is very, very important. If you are busy on Fridays, you can watch the recordings for that. Recordings of every session is given to you. Any questions, guys? Any questions pertaining to your role? Because a couple of questions I already answered while we were sharing information to Ankit and everyone. If you have any specific questions for me, I will wait for 2 minutes and then we will wrap up. Can also show you in the meantime when you are formulating your questions. I can also show you our website that you will come to. Yes, this is our website, Interactive Learning Solutions. We have different types of courses here. We help with career change, career growth, certifications, and one-on-one coaching. Different types of courses that we have. The blueprint course, the ECBA mastermind course is something that I spoke to you about. Project implementation, and then the CBAP. Project implementation, students work for a duration of 3 months on 2 capstone projects. They do step-by-step implementation of business analysis, and they learn how to work as a BA in a project. Okay, so these are some of the courses. I will also show you our Friday practice sessions which happen. Take a look at this. Take a look at this, guys. To buy online. So I want to do something. Okay, the brackets indicate the action that the user is going to perform, and so that indicates the goal that can be achieved by that action. So remember, every action we perform on an application will have a goal attached to it, why we are doing it. So look at the next user story. As a customer, I want to delete items from my shopping cart so that I can remove items I do not wish to buy. Okay, so this is the delete functionality, discovering the delete feature of the shopping cart. As a customer, so I was just playing the practical lab session to show you how our practical labs work. Okay, so I've given you a complete roadmap of how you can easily transition into a business analyst role. Step one, get the certification that's required, that will act as a door opener for you. Step two, practice in these practical lab sessions. Practice using these case studies that I give you, and that will help you crack BA interviews much faster. Okay, for very much required for that BA interviews. Once you finish these two steps, your next step is to prepare for the exam and give the exam, and you become an IIBA certified business analyst, and then you start looking for jobs. Very simple, 3 steps if you follow. you are there. You have launched your career as a business analyst. Any questions, guys, before I wrap up today's sessions? If you have any questions for me. Thank you so much. Let's wrap up today's session. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. God bless you.